A $5 billion guitar is rising 700 feet into the sky over the Las Vegas Strip, standing on the exact spot where a volcano erupted every single night for 34 years. A few blocks south, on the ground where a legendary hotel stood for 67 years before they blew it up, a $2 billion domed baseball stadium is climbing toward the clouds right now. And out in the desert, along Interstate 15, crews are preparing to build something this country has never truly had before. A 200-mile-per-hour bullet train designed to change how 50 million people a year move between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. Add it all up, these projects and the others we're covering today, and you're looking at more than $30 billion going into the ground at the same time. Las Vegas has always made bets that looked insane right up until the moment they paid off. The Hoover Dam, the Strip itself, Allegiant Stadium, and the Raiders. Every generation, this city commits to something so audacious it seems unreasonable, and then the rest of America spends the next 20 years catching up. In 2026, Vegas is doing it again, and these projects won't just reshape one city. They could reshape the entire American West. Let's get into it. Number 1. The Hard Rock Guitar Hotel, $4 to $5 billion. Let's start with the project that will change the Vegas skyline more dramatically than anything since the Bellagio opened back in 1998. On July 17, 2024, the Mirage closed its doors after 34 years. The very next day, the volcano, the one that had been pulling crowds to the front of the resort every single night since November 1989, was torn down. And within 24 hours of the resort going dark, Hard Rock International already had construction crews on site. Because this is Las Vegas, and the show must always go on. What Hard Rock is building here is not a renovation. It is a full ground-up reimagining of one of the most famous resort properties on the planet, at a projected cost of $4 to $5 billion. That makes it the single largest casino hotel redevelopment currently underway anywhere on the Strip. The centerpiece is a 700-foot guitar-shaped hotel tower, rising on the exact site where the Mirage's volcano used to sit. Hard Rock has built a guitar tower before, at its flagship property in Florida. But the Las Vegas version will be taller, more prominent, and visible from miles away in every direction. Blue glass wraps the curved body of the building, and when it's lit at night, crews have already begun testing the lighting systems. It will become one of the most recognizable silhouettes on the entire Strip. Here's where it stands right now. As of April 2026, 28 of the tower's planned 42 stories are complete. Think about that. A 2/3 built skyscraper shaped like a guitar rising in the middle of one of the most visited pieces of real estate on Earth. Behind the guitar, the existing Mirage towers are being gutted down to the studs and rebuilt from the inside out. Roughly 3,600 total rooms and suites across the full resort, a slate of new restaurants, a Hard Rock live entertainment venue, and multiple pool complexes. Hard Rock President Joe Lupo says the project is on time and on budget, two phrases that are always worth saying out loud in this town, where megaprojects have a famously mixed record on delivering either one. And it's worth sitting with the symbolism here for a second. For 34 years, that volcano was the free show, the thing you could watch from the sidewalk without spending $1. Now it's being replaced by a glowing blue guitar you'll be able to see from the airplane window before you even land. That's not just a new building. That's one era of Las Vegas physically handing the keys to the next. Opening is targeted for late 2027. The volcano is gone, the guitar is coming, and that single transformation tells you everything about how fast this city can rewrite its own identity. Number 2. The Athletics Ballpark on the Strip. $2 billion. Right down the boulevard, on the 9 acres where the Tropicana stood for 67 years, a $2 billion domed baseball stadium is now under active construction. and it's moving faster than almost anyone expected. The story of how the Athletics got here is one of the more painful chapters in recent American sports history. For years, the team tried and failed to build a new stadium in Oakland. In 2023, Major League Baseball approved the move to Las Vegas, leaving Oakland without a major league team for the first time since 1968. Right now, the A's are playing interim games at a AAA stadium in West Sacramento, while they wait for their new home to be finished. And what a home it's shaping up to be. The new ballpark on the Strip will hold 33,000 fans inside a fully climate-controlled dome. That last part matters enormously here, where summer temperatures regularly hit 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And baseball is, in theory, a warm-weather outdoor sport. The stadium will feature the world's largest cable net window, facing Las Vegas Boulevard, which means every single game will be played against the backdrop of the Strip itself. Here's the progress. As of March 2026, foundation work is complete. Over 1,000 pilings have been driven into the ground. The first steel is rising on the bowl. The lower concourse deck has almost made a full circle around the site. 2 of 4 main concourse levels now wrap around the stadium's 9-acre footprint, and steel on the 3rd and 4th decks is already visible above the fence line. On any given day, between 400 and 500 workers are on site. The A's president says the team has already poured roughly $300 million into construction. Now, let's be honest about the cost drama, because there is some. The total projected price tag climbed from $1.75 billion to over $2 billion in late 2025, driven by inflation and by labor competition from every other Vegas project on this list. Up to $380 million in public funding from Nevada and Clark County was approved, with the rest covered by team owner John Fisher's personal equity, a construction loan, and personal seat licenses. The A's will host 6 regular season games in Las Vegas in June 2026 as a preview of what's coming. And here's the part that makes this bigger than a single ballpark. The stadium isn't going up alone. Bally's Corporation is planning a $1.19 billion 30,000-room hotel casino to rise around the ballpark in sync with that 2028 opening. Which means the A's aren't just getting a stadium, they're getting an entire resort built to wrap around it. Number 3. Brightline West, $21.5 billion. Now, let's head out to Interstate 15, because the single most ambitious infrastructure project Nevada has ever been part of isn't on the Strip at all. It's the train that's about to connect Las Vegas to Southern California at 200 miles per hour. Brightline West is a privately funded high-speed rail line running 218 miles from Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga, where it will connect with Metrolink commuter rail for onward service into downtown LA. The line will run primarily in the median of I-15, the same highway where nearly 50 million trips between the two regions happen every year, with more than 85% of them by car. So the demand is not in question, the math is, and so is the politics. Think about what that corridor looks like today. Nearly 50 million trips a year, and more than 85% of them packed into cars crawling up I-15. The desert sun beating down on a parking lot of brake lights. It is one of the most predictable, most miserable, most repeated drives in the entire country. And that predictability is exactly why a train makes sense here when it has failed almost everywhere else in America. The riders already exist. They're already making the trip. Brightline is betting they'd rather do it in half the time. At full build, trains will hit up to 200 miles per hour and complete the trip in about 2 hours and 10 minutes. When it opens, it will be the first true high-speed passenger rail line in American history. The first time this country has connected two major population centers at the speeds Europe and Japan have offered for decades. Here's exactly where things stand. As of April 2026, the Las Vegas station parking structure just south of the Strip near the 215 is nearly complete. Surveying of the full 218-mile corridor is done, have been active along the I-15 median in both Nevada and California. Heavy civil construction is ramping up through 2026, and a dedicated $20 million concrete tie production facility is being built in North Las Vegas specifically to supply this project. Now, the honest complexity, The project cost has ballooned from an original estimate of around $8 billion to $21.5 billion, driven by labor shortages and intense competition from data centers and semiconductor projects across the region. Brightline is still waiting on a $6 billion federal loan through the Department of Transportation's Build America Bureau, and has been since October 2025. At the same time, it's chasing a $4 billion loan from a banking consortium. The company originally aimed to have service running by the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. That target slipped. Current projections point to revenue service beginning in late 2029. But the bones are sound, the money is mostly identified, the surveying is done, and when this thing finally opens, the drive between LA and Las Vegas, one of the most trafficked corridors in the entire American West, stops being a 4-hour Friday afternoon nightmare and becomes a 2-hour train ride. Number 4. Bally's Flagship Resort on the Strip. $1.19 billion. Here's the project that doesn't get nearly enough attention, and the one you need to understand to see the full picture of what's happening at the south end of the Strip. When Bally's Corporation demolished the Tropicana in October 2024, they didn't just do it to clear space for the A's ballpark. They've owned the rest of the 35-acre site all along, and in 2026, they're finally making their move. Bally's is planning a $1.19 billion flagship resort on the remaining 26 acres surrounding the ballpark, a 30,000-room hotel, and an entertainment complex designed to function as the baseball stadium's home base. Think the way the Hard Rock Complex in San Diego serves Petco Park, or the way the Battery serves Truist Park in Atlanta. 3 initial pieces of Bally's project need to get underway by January 2027 to be ready in time for the A's opening day in 2028. That includes a shared central utility plant, providing power and chilled water for air conditioning across the entire site, leading from the Strip to the ballpark, and food and beverage spaces integrated right into the garage deck. When it's all complete, this corner of the Strip, Las Vegas Boulevard, and Tropicana Avenue will be one of the most densely developed sports and entertainment districts anywhere in North America. A 33,000-seat MLB ballpark, the existing MGM Grand, Excalibur, and New York, all within walking distance. Raiders games at Allegiant Stadium, Golden Knights games at T-Mobile Arena, and now A's games. That's not just a Vegas transformation. That's an entirely new American sports district being built from scratch. Number 5. Why it matters beyond the state line. So let's pull it all together. 4 projects, 1 city, a combined investment that pushes well past $30 billion. A guitar-shaped hotel tower rising from the grave of the Mirage's volcano. The biggest casino redevelopment on the Strip in a generation. A domed ballpark bringing Major League Baseball to the Strip for the first time in history. A privately funded high-speed rail line that, when it opens, will do something no American infrastructure project has ever done at this scale. And a flagship resort being built around the stadium that will turn a single block of Las Vegas Boulevard into a self-contained entertainment city. But here's why these projects matter far beyond the Nevada state line. Las Vegas is quietly testing models, climate-controlled stadium design, 200-mile-per-hour passenger rail, fully integrated sports resort districts that the rest of the American West is going to be watching very, very closely. What works here becomes the blueprint for Phoenix, for Denver, for Salt Lake City, and for every other Sunbelt city trying to figure out how to build for a hotter, faster-growing future. And let's be real about the risk. The timelines will slip. The costs will keep climbing. That federal loan for Brightline may or may not come through on schedule. You already know all of that.